What is up, guys, and welcome to another video slash Spotify slash podcast. The Knicks won an emotional night. This night I was kind of dreading because, you know, since we made the trade on December 30th or January 1st, I don't even know. I was writing this night. I was writing this night because it was not going to be about the game. It was going to be about RJ getting introduced, just me like being very sad, and I was just hoping for a win because it wouldn't look good if we lost. But I was kind of dreading this night. But at the end of the day, it was an easy game. Going into it, it's just because RJ and IQ were there. It's just like it was an emotional night. I was dreading this. I'm happy that's done, and I think we won by 20 plus. Um, but let's get down to the actual game. But I love this, man. I love this. I love that RJ and IQ got the love they deserved from the fans. I don't even know why people thought they were gonna get booed. No, they're not. They're not gonna get booed. No way. And OG's not gonna get booed in Toronto. Like, they're not gonna get booed. Like, there's no reason to boo them. There's no reason to boo them. They didn't ask out. It's not like they wanted to leave. Um. So yeah, it's not like they wanted to go. So as I get into it, turnover. I mean, let me start with this. OG versus Scotty. This kind of matchup I was waiting to get. I mean, Scotty Barnes, one of the youngest stars in this league, didn't have a good game. I think his back was hurting most of the game, but I want to see OG on him. I think those two would be great matchups together. Very good friends, but at the end of the day, we got to play the game basketball. When the ball's up, the ball's up. That's my opinion on this. When the ball goes up, the ball goes up, and you know we're still playing for your basketball team. Who will guard Jalen Brunson? It was RJ Barrett, which I at the end of the day I kind of understood it because RJ kind of knows his moves, even though it didn't matter. But RJ kind of knew his moves. I know Scotty tried to guard him when he was out, and then anybody can try to guard him, but it doesn't matter. Um, I need some good deuce minutes and get those good deuce minutes at the starting point guard position. I mean backup point guard position. I like him as a shooting guard, though. I do. I like him off ball. I definitely do. He showed his 3 point prowess in Westchester Knicks. I just feel like he hasn't got to that. I think he needs to go somewhere else where they will actually like develop him into a good ball handler. I feel like that is where he will succeed, is when he gets developed into that actual ball handler. Because I feel like he can, but it's just like not here. And if we want to keep him here, then we're gonna have to make him play off ball with somebody like a Malcolm Brogdon, because right now, he just doesn't look comfortable bringing out the ball. I mean, yes, granted that a shooter is a very, 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 very pesky defender, but excuse me, he's a very, very, very pesky defender, but stuff happens and you could lose the ball, and then we don't want him to lose the ball. We want somebody else to bring up the basketball for the New York Knicks. But he gave us, decent minutes. I mean, there's some times where he just like lost the ball for no reason. But besides that, I didn't hate it. I mean, I don't hate it. My thing was packing the paint, because that's what the Knicks did last time when they were up north against the Toronto Raptors, was packing the paint and just letting them shoot, because this team cannot shoot the basketball. This team's not really a good shooting team. That's why they acquired Emmanuel quickly. For the shooting aspect, they had a shooter starting at point guard when we played them up north, and they just couldn't shoot. There's no way they could make a basket. There's no way they can make a basket from three. So we packed the paint. I stayed with that, even though Quickly's a good 3 point shooter. But I'd rather pack the paint on people like Scotty Barnes, on people like RJ Barrett. Better to pack the paint than just fine. If Emmanuel Quickly wants to jack up 15 threes tonight, that's fine. I'll live. But you know, um, I want to make sure that paint is walled off, because if we don't let the paint walled off, then they will just score there at will and we will lose the basketball game. But Quickly can jack up 12 threes, and I don't care. He's gonna make most of them, but it's like I would rather pack the paint and shut down RJ, shut down Scotty, shut down Shooter, like those type of players, rather than just stopping, Quickly. Um, Jakob out for the Toronto Raptors. I just said this was time to crash the basketball to crash the boards because they were starting Jonte Porter. Shout out Jonte Porter, but he just didn't play a good basketball game for the Toronto Raptors. I'm gonna put it as simply as that. Filling in for Jakob. I don't feel like that is a position now as that starting center because it just doesn't look good for him. I think he's a very very good bench piece, but for the starting role against players like he was getting dominated by Precious Achua. So it doesn't really it's not really that good. And granted, the Raptors don't have a backup center after that. I think Thaddeus Young at center. I mean, Thaddeus Young versus Precious Achua was pure hoops. By the way, pure hoops. I want to see that every single night. If I can pay to see that every single night, Precious Achua battling with Thaddeus Young, pay whatever money you want. I'm gonna watch that game. It's pure hoops, but yeah. Julie's gonna dominate like he did last time against the Raptors because the Raptors are one of those teams that just have zero, zero, zero answer for Julius Randle, especially when Pascal's gone. Zero answer, zero, nada. Because Scotty can't guard him, and Scotty also has to try to guard Jalen Brunson. It's just so hard for a team to guard Julius when you have no one designated to guard Julius. Like Jonte Porter can't. Like Scotty can't. I hate it because Scotty's a very good perimeter defender. I just see him getting overwhelmed by Julius. I don't know, Raptors fans. If you want to tell me that he's a very good post defender, I'll be opposed. But just I don't think he can guard Julius. I just don't think. But not a lot of players can to be fair. But um, get out to a hot start. I think that was the biggest thing here. Get out to a hot start. Suck the momentum out of this young Raptors team. You have to, as a veteran team, kind of getting in there. You have to suck the momentum out of this game. You have to get out there first. Really important. If you pull away, actually pull away. That's my thing. If you're up by 9, actually make the game up by 20. Like keep going. Don't let them crawl back in this game. Because if you let a young team like the Raptors crawl back in this game, then it's gonna be a pretty bad game for you because you have to like the Wizards game. Even the Wizards game, that was we pulled away by 9 and they just pulled us back in. Like we cannot let that happen. The Knicks did not let that happen, as the score shows. Um, if Josh Hart plays as he did, he's got to spell some minutes for OG Anunoby. And look at the minutes for OG Anunoby. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a daily thing. How many minutes did OG Anunoby play today? A very new thing that I'm gonna do. 36 minutes, 37 minutes if I want to round it up. You know what? Because you compare it to they no, he probably played the most minutes out of everybody. Oh my goodness. He played the most minutes out of everybody. My thing about that is like, you might think OG Anunoby's a role player. Look, he might be, but he's so hard to take off the court. Just the way he can get in the passing lanes, the way he can just the way he can just blow up an offense by himself is just something that you can't really take off the floor for that long, especially if somebody like Josh Hart who isn't really confident. Um, and I was really thinking about this when I was in the shower. Was like, do you think that these long defenders are very important? Like the reason why I think they're very important is I thought about it. I'm like, Matisse Thybulle against the Indiana Pacers in the Pascal's first game. Just the idea of him being there forced a backcourt violation. Like that idea of just a long defender can force so much problems for the offense. That's what I was thinking. Like you can't really take a guy like Matisse Thybulle off the court. You can't really take a guy like OG Anunoby off the court. You can't really take a guy you know like Jaden McDaniels off the court for the Timberwolves. You cannot because the way they just play basketball and the way that the idea of themselves just screw up an offense is just so valuable. Like I know you might be like, "Oh, Jack, why are you not naming my defender on my team?" I'm blanking out. I mean, there's a lot of defenders who just the idea of himself. I mean, I'm trying to think right now. Maybe Shea because he's just the idea of Shea could like just while you're playing defense, because Shea like leads the league in deflections. So just the idea of him could screw your offense up. But those are the type of players you cannot take off the court, especially a guy like Thibs. You just cannot take him off the court. There's no way, because the idea of Josh Hart is not the same idea of OG Anunoby. Like the concept of Matisse Thybulle screwed up that Indiana Pacers offense in a big play in the game. Like the idea of Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle was a tremendous defender, but the idea of him screwing up your offense is crazy, and that shows how valuable these kind of long defenders are. But my post game thoughts here was the turnovers. Turnovers are bad. I mean, but my problem is most of the turnovers were from Jalen Brunson just in the first half, just forgetting how to forgetting how to pass the basketball. That happens. Juice McBride had some turnovers that just made me cry. But besides that, I don't really hate it. I mean, the turnovers are the only reason why it was only a 26-point win. But I don't know. Malcolm Brogdon would fix that, in my opinion, or DeJounte Murray. But I just don't. I don't know, because Juice McBride is definitely kind of the reason why these turnovers happening as well, just because he just isn't a one guard. But hey, mistakes happen though. But I like RJ Brunson. I did. I liked RJ Brunson, as I said. Um, the I heart too early fouls, and then he got injured, a sore left ankle, which is not good. I want to tell you, like the sore left ankle is fine, but just the idea of maybe losing him is crazy, because then you have the Precious Jericho Sims. But against Nick Claxton, I'm like, look, Nick Claxton is not that good of an offense at the rim. Yes, defensively, he's amazing, but offensively, I can live. But good minutes from Josh. The confidence was key for him. I think that's the biggest thing with Josh. When he's confident, there's not really a lot of things that can stop him. His a pump fake, a head start to the rim, not really a lot of things the team could do. But Randle getting anything he wants, as I said, he just gets anything he wants against his team. And most teams, to be fair, not just the Toronto Raptors, he just gets anything he wants. He was pump faking threes, getting to the mid range, like he just was getting anything he wants. The JB takeover was huge pulling away, and I think that was the biggest thing. If the Knicks are gonna pull away this game, it's gonna be a JB takeover. And that's just great. Grady Dick did turn into Clay, by the way. He just hit some threes. I know it's kind of skewed because he shoots like 28% from three, but he hasn't played that much. So I'm like, the scouting report maybe is skewed, but like, still get after that guy. I mean, the guy can shoot. You see him come out of college. You see the scouting report coming out of college. He's a great 3-point shooter. Let me end this off with a good sentiment to Precious Achiuwa. Boys, can we stop? Boys and girls, can we stop? Like, Precious Achiuwa is a very good basketball player. Yes, he may have brain malfunction sometimes in the basketball game, but he makes up for it. I mean, he's undersized as well, but it's just like, look, he makes up for it. He's a very hard competitor. I mean, let's just call it how he is. He's a very hard competitor. He tries. He's a very good switchable defender. He can switch 1 through 5. It's very switchable. And I just feel like just hating on him too quickly is just so hard. Like, you cannot. The switchability for him is amazing. You just cannot hate on him that much. You just can't. And I'm going at it like this, like, okay, he may drop a pass or two, easy passes, but again, his switchability on defense is just so key to this basketball team that I think he was overhated in Toronto, because the Knicks are using him correctly as a switchable 5 who can switch on the offense players. Yes, if it's Stephen Curry, you can't really do that. But again, if you're switching on the players like a mediocre point guard, like who's small, like I think you can stay with him. And that's really huge as a Knick for being a Knick. I mean, if you can switch on the players, then that's great. It makes our team even more switchable than it already is. But yeah, I mean, if we look at the stats, OG at 14, Randle at 18, triple double for Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson at 38, DiVincenzo 17 points, Precious 18-11, double double. Josh Hart 10-9, Quentin Grimes at 4-4, McBride at 3. If we look at the Toronto side, Scotty at 9. I told you his back was hurting the whole entire game. Not from carrying the team at all. It's not a joke. I mean, his back was actually hurting. But RJ Barrett at 20. Quickly had 12 and 11. Jonte Porter at 6. Gary Trent at 16. Shooter at 2. Brown at 8. Bruce. If Bruce Brown's he put out a quote today. Like, how do you allow this? Is this not tampering? Like, is this not tampering? Is this not? This crazy. I'm a dog. I can do whatever Thibs needs. I play extremely hard both ends. Type of player that he likes. Every time we play, I go up and shake hands with him because of what he's done. Nothing but respect. I love New York. Like, I get it. You love New York. But you can love New York and Toronto. You can love New York and Toronto. We don't need you. And to be fair, yes, he's a dog. He's a champion. He's a winner. But he's so redundant of a piece. I just don't really want him. And it's not because he's bad. He's a champion, as I said. Um, it's just because he's so redundant. He shoots 32% from three. Um, I know he likes New York, but it just isn't the right fit. I don't understand how somebody lets him talk like this. Like, the writing's on the wall. I'm gonna get him. I wouldn't go and cry about it. But I would rather have Malcolm Brogdon or DeJounte Murray. Even Malcolm Brogdon I'd rather have. Or Terry Rozier. But like that's another talk for another day. It's just because we were playing Bruce Brown, I wanted to go off. But that's something. That's something. That's definitely something. But Bruce Brown, if you're a Knick, I'll love you. But just know that you are a redundant piece. You are like Josh Hart, but like you are a champion though. So hey, as we get champions, maybe we'll turn into a champion. I don't know. The more champions we get, the more we can win. That's that's what Thibs thinks. But whatever. We'll see you in the next game, and I'll be talking about the next game against the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday. See you guys later, and let's go Knicks.